smile through the screen. I wish you could be with me. So I lay my
Hi, my name is Sasha from Makers Loft, and I'm here to give you a quick tutorial on how to make a nice fragrant soy candle with the ingredients and items we provide in our Soy Candle Makers Box. What you will need to provide is a mug or a bowl and boiling water, so a kettle needs to be at hand. Fill your bowl or your mug half full with water, and we've provided you some paper cups. Now this is a very simple way of a double boiling system. We're going to put some of the wax, the soy wax, into the paper cup, and we're going to melt it over the boiling water slowly. Now if you have a proper double boiling system at home, feel free to use it. It will be much quicker, but just so that we could provide the items that you need to be able to do this, we thought we would make it very simple, and it does work. It just takes a very long time. It's the safest way not to overheat the wax, but you can leave it sitting over the water like this for a while, and you may at times need to just replace the boiling water so that it's hot all over again, because obviously it's not sitting over a stove constantly boiling. Now while you're waiting for your wax to melt, you can prepare your wick in the jar that we've provided. Now this is a little bit fiddly, but you need to, and we suggest doing from the bottom of the wick holder. So you'll have your metal little wick holder, and you will need to find a way to push the wick through the center hole. And from experience, doing this from the bottom up to the top is easier rather than trying to get it in from the top. So pull that through until you've just got a little bit sitting at the bottom, and just fray the wick out so that you can sort of fan it out a little bit. And then we'll get our sticker, which is like a double-sided dot, and stick that over the top so that it sort of holds part of that frayed wick in place so it doesn't come out. And then take the bottom bit of sticker off, and then you can just use one of the pedal pops to push it down as centered as possible. We'll put the wick through the hole in this pedal pop stick. This is what's going to hold the wick centered in your candle. Obviously we try and keep the wick as centered as possible so that your candle will burn evenly down, and while we're waiting we'll just do the other one as well. Now I will give you a tip if you want to speed up the melting of your wax, but this is going to come with a big caution warning. You can melt your wax in the microwave. The way a microwave works is it heats up water. So whatever you're heating up, it's actually the water inside it that helps it heat. If there isn't a lot of water, it creates smoke. And in the case of this soy wax, there isn't any water in the wax, so it would create a lot of smoke. So the way to prevent the extra smoke being created is to cook it in, or not cook it, but melt it in smaller, shorter intervals. So what we need to do is you can sit the paper cup with the wax in it inside a bowl or a mug with water in it, so that there is water in the microwave. And so just the same way we use this double boiling system, you can sit it exactly the same way in the microwave, and you can just use cold water. It doesn't have to be boiling water. It will boil up in the time that you will have it in the microwave. So what you can do is you can just cook it or melt it on high for 2 minutes, but then you will need to open the microwave and stir it, and there will be some smoke there. Stir your wax around. In that time the water would have heated up, and after that, after giving it a little stir, you can put it back in the microwave and put it on high for another minute, and then take it out again, and you'll notice that when you open the microwave door there'll be a fair bit of smoke that's come from the wax, and then stir it around again. At this point the water may boil over a little bit, so just make sure your cup with the water isn't too filled too high, and then just give it a stir, and then you can put it in for another half a minute. Generally, if I have a full cup of wax, it will melt completely in the 3.5 minutes, but you can monitor this. So if you wanted to play it safe and sort of take a little bit longer, you can put the microwave on shorter intervals, so you could do a minute and then another minute and then another minute, and just make sure you stir in between. The way I'm showing you here on screen is just a slower way. You will get there, it just takes a lot longer, and you'll probably have to refill your cup with new boiling water as it will cool down in between. And you just add a few flakes to the already melted wax, and it will melt the flakes as you go.
Every time that you are closing your eyes, I will be beside you.
I am going to cheat a little bit here because I'm just bringing in some wax that I did melt in the microwave just to speed up the process. So I melted a full cup of flakes down to, and it will sort of go down to half a cup of wax, and it took 3.5 minutes to melt. Now you do need to be careful that you don't overheat the wax in the microwave. It will create sort of a white powdery finish on your candle if it's been overheated. So just make sure that if you do use this process with the microwave, that you just do it very slowly. And we're going to add some flakes to the ready melted wax, because the hot wax that's in the cup already will help melt the rest of the flakes, and I've just sat it over a fresh cup of boiling water, so that should then melt a little bit more. Now generally with these, this is just a 8-ounce coffee cup that we've provided. Now generally speaking, if you fill that with wax just a bit past halfway, that should be enough to fill your glass jar. It is a little bit of a guesstimate, and we provide enough wax for a little bit of wastage, so you should have enough there either way. You can melt a little bit more, so if you didn't fill your jar quite high enough, you can melt a little bit more and pour it on top.
So today I am time traveling.
You can see I try to stir the wax without touching the sides of the cup too much. If you do a lot of stirring, touching the outer rim of the cup, it does wear down after a while. It sort of takes away that coating of the coffee cup, and slowly it may let water in. So when you're stirring, just sort of move the wax around, but without rubbing the spoon past the outer rim of the cup.
I long to be with you in all the places you have been. So today I am time traveling. Da-da-da-da. Oh, today I am time traveling.
And every time that you are closing your eyes,
You can see my wax is melted, but it's still a little bit cloudy. So this might be a good time to add some of the colouring. So you can choose, by all means, leave it white if you like. But I'm going to add a little bit of the purple, because I'm going to use the lavender fragrance for this one. And I think the light purple might be a nice colour for a lavender candle. The colouring will change slightly as the wax sets, so it might be a little bit pearlized purple at the moment, but because the wax will set white, it actually becomes a sort of a lighter purple. as the candle sets. So just mix the colouring through well. The wax goes clearer as you melt it for longer. With this type of double boiling system, it will never get so hot that it will burn the fragrance. So it's quite safe to add fragrance really at any time when the wax is fully melted. And don't be scared to add quite a bit, because although it seems like you can smell the fragrance quite strongly, once you add it to the candle and the candle's burning, you actually need to add a fair bit of fragrance to get a nice scent from your candle. So I add a fair bit to the wax and just stir that around a little bit.
And when you smile through the screen, I wish you could be with me. So I lay my head to.
And now it's ready to pour into your jar or your tin. So you can move your wick aside to the side a little bit so you can pour next to it. I don't like moving the wick too much. It sort of creates some air around the wick, and sometimes it can cause a bit of a crater. So once you've poured your wax, it's time to set that one aside to set, and it will be time to melt more wax to create your other candle. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial, and we hope to see you again maybe for one of our other craft packs.
Fly right to you, 'cause when I dive into the traffic, the echo of your voice is all I hear. I'm never tired of your laughing so far, but ever so near.